Hey guys, this is Captain Lincoln with Fireteam Whiskey, and today's Warrior Wellness video is with Leela Ansert. And Leela Ansert is such an inspiring person to me. Every time I see her talk, I feel like I just want to jump out of my chair and just like go do something. Like she just lights a fire under your butt. And you know what is so special about her is that she has this crazy awesome expertise in like internal thinking and how those things are kind of connected to your emotions and behaviors. And for those of you watching, I know that you've done our program for at least 60 days, and now you're rolling into your 90-day mark. And this is a pivotal part of your journey because most people would have quit by now. And maybe you quit. Maybe you quit along the way and had to restart one of your programs and had to repeat and start over. And, you're getting to the place where this should have already become kind of a part of your journey and a part of your daily life. But also we can get complacent, and also we can kind of fall into listening to those negative voices that tell us that we can't, push it further, or implement maybe something even more into our journey, or I'll never be able to do 10 unassisted pull-ups, right? That's mine, so, and Leela has this just crazy expertise on how to silence those inner negative limiting thoughts. And I'm so happy and just so excited that she's going to be giving us some of that expertise with our participants, and that she'll be talking about this topic today. So thank you for joining us, Leela.
No, my pleasure. I'm excited about this.
So I will let you take it away.
Okay, wonderful. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. And first of all, I just want to give you a big fat high five for getting on here and doing your trainings with Captain Lincoln. She is fantastic. I appreciate the intro there. And one of the things I love about her is her absolute commitment to getting you the best results that you can get. I know her heart and her soul are in this business and in her fitness regimens and in the real vision of what she's wanting to create and is creating with Fireteam Whiskey. So thank you, Stephanie, for allowing me to share. So as Stephanie said, my name is Leela Ansart, and I am a success coach. And I work in the field of really the field of mindset, the field of success strategy. So I help people to up-level their personal and their professional success habits so that they can have a life that isn't just coasting along, but it's really all about creating what they want in their life and having a life that is filled with the day-to-day feelings and emotions and experiences that makes their life meaningful. So that's what I do. I'm really excited to share today with you something that I find so many of the successful people that I encounter still deal with, and I deal with it sometimes as well. And I wanted to talk today about limiting thoughts. So negative thoughts, limiting thoughts, those are things that they're kind of like a mean voice in our heads. They're kind of like that mean kid from high school who used to pick on you, or maybe you were that kid, I don't know. I used to get picked on. And they always know what to say, right? That mean voice in your head always knows just what to say to make you feel like a failure, to make you feel like, oh, I can't believe that you made this mistake again. And it really just zaps your power and your motivation for doing whatever it is that you have to do. The greatest gurus in leadership and personal growth and even business will tell you that a big piece of what separates the average from the extraordinary is their mindset, is people's mindset. And so today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what to do when you find that those limiting thoughts are just taken over. So let's talk about what limiting thoughts are. Let me give you a few examples in case you're not sure what I'm talking about. So here's a few of the most common ones that I hear. One is, and check out the slide here for some examples, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to work out. I don't have enough time to do this thing that I need to do. I don't have enough time to do this or that. We all face days where we feel that legitimately down in our gut. We're like, oh my God, there's just too much on the to-do list. And the reality is, it's a thought that is limiting you. How about this one? I've never been able to lose weight before. why will this work now? Or these things work for everybody else, but it's not going to work for me. Those limiting thoughts are coming at you from your past experience, perhaps past failure, perhaps something that someone in your life at an earlier time said to you and it just stuck. That's a limiting thought. So the reason, or the way that you know if it's a limiting thought versus just kind of being real, you know, let's not sugarcoat things, is the way that it makes you feel. So if you have the feeling or you have the thought, this works for everyone else, but not for me, and it makes you go, yeah, I'm going to prove them wrong. That's not necessarily a limiting thought in the way that I'm talking about. Usually what's going to happen is you're going to have that thought, this isn't going to work for me. And it makes you feel just like a failure. It makes you feel like somebody just took, you know, kind of like that Energizer Bunny commercial that we've all seen a million times. And then at the very end, Bunny goes, like he lost his power. That's kind of what limiting thoughts do to us. They take our full empowerment and our potential, our motivation, and then literally our physical energy, and they zap that away from us. So it pulls away from us. So that's how you know, by the way, if it's being real, being, you know, facing things head on, or if it's truly a limiting thought. Another one that I hear all the time that I just wish I could put up a billboard and help people to change this one is, well, everything goes down after you're 50. Everything goes downhill after you're 40. And I'm about to turn 40, by the way, and I just keep rejecting that every time I hear it. I'm like, nope, not for me. Internal body, that's not right for you. They might believe that, but I don't believe that. So again, limiting thoughts, something that makes you feel like the failure and not meeting your goals and being disappointed are the inevitable. If that's how that thought is making you feel, then it's a limiting thought, okay? So my advice to you is don't stay there. A big piece of what we hear out in social media is really, or not in social media, out in personal development, I should say, a big piece of what we hear out in personal development, the world of personal development, is to just change it, just think differently, don't do this. And I would agree, you know, don't continue thinking those thoughts, but sometimes they're just playing on repeat and you can't seem to push through. And I want to give you some hints today on how to make that change and offer you a special gift at the end that will help you to assist you in making that change. But before we get into that, I want to tell you that when you choose to stay in the world of limiting thoughts, as I said, it has you living your life at half your power, at half your potential, half your creativity, half your ability to accomplish things. That has to do with your interactions with others, whether that's your personal life, your professional life, whatever it is for you. It has to do with your physical fitness. How many times have you gotten up in the morning completely resolved to go and do your fitness routine, and then something happens that changes your emotional and your mental space, and you start feeling like crap, and all of a sudden your motivation to just move forward and get that done goes out the window, right? So living your life at half power is not something I think any of us want to do. It affects your personal motivation and your commitment to your plan, and it affects your internal happiness. There's actually science that shows that just like when we exercise, when we laugh, when we have certain experiences, the physiological changes in our body, they actually do change. There are hormones that are released that make us feel better. Well, the opposite is true as well. When in your mental space, you are hanging out in the world of, I don't have enough, fill in the blank, or I'm not strong enough, or I could never do that, or I'm not educated enough, or I'm not whatever it is enough. When you hang out in that space, then it literally releases hormones inside of your body that make you feel disempowered and completely, crap, right? Can't think of my words, but crap really says it. It makes you feel like crap. So here's what I would like to say. First of all, when you have a limiting thought, the very first thing that I would like you to do is become aware. Become aware and say to yourself, is this really true? When you get up in the morning and you are starting out your day and you're drinking your cup of coffee and you say, oh my God, there's just so much to get done today, I can never do it all. Stop yourself for a moment, become aware, and ask yourself the question, is this really true? Is that actually true? Now, perhaps it is. If you're like Captain Lincoln, I know you have like a 400 item list for every day, and she really does have a huge amount of responsibilities on her plate. but I know she practices this as well. Ask yourself, is this really true? There have been other people in the world who've been able to accomplish what I need to accomplish today. And also, what really do I need to accomplish, by the way? Quick commercial, does it need to be as long as perhaps I think it is? Or maybe can I itemize it down to my 3 priorities for the day, okay? How about the one where you're sitting down to do your workout and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. I have never been able to do this particular move. I can't do those pull-ups, by the way. I can't do those either, so I'm still working on that. But when you get that negative self-talk, ask yourself, is that really true? Is it true that you could never do it? Or is it actually true that if you strengthened your arms and your shoulders and you strengthened your mindset and you continued to practice and you continued to work at it, that you would build up the strength to do that? Isn't that true? So really becoming aware is the first step of allowing the negative self-talk to become a thing of the past. The second step is focus on your strengths. Think about an area of your life in which you naturally excel. If you are getting hit with self-talk around your communication, maybe around communication you have in your professional world, and you can't seem to get your point across without people misunderstanding you, or you've got to speak publicly and that terrifies you, and you're thinking in your head, oh my God, I'm going to fail, I'm going to sound like an idiot. Whatever the challenge is, what I want you to do is first ask yourself, is it really true? And question that thought. And then secondly, focus on your strengths. Think about some area of your life in which you are just freaking awesome. You rock it, and you don't even have to try that hard, or it's something you've been doing for so long that you could do it in your sleep. And really think about that part of you. When you think about that, those feelings and those hormones can fill your body with confidence, and they can actually put you in a better mental state for the task in front of you that is a little bit more daunting. Then ask yourself, what did I do in that thing, in that part of my life that I am so good at? What did I do there that I could apply to this area where I'm second guessing myself? What lesson could I learn from myself? What could I take from my strength to help me move past this negative self-talk in this other area? So I'm going to stop there because there's a couple more steps that really help to loosen the self-talk that's in our head that beats us down and makes us feel powerless and unable to overcome. And doing them step by step on a repeated basis can actually loosen the overall habit of the limiting self-talk that you have. You know, one of my pet peeves, and this is what I was talking about earlier, one of my pet peeves is in the personal development world is people who tell you just to do it and they don't tell you how. That has bugged me forever, and it's one of the main reasons why I pursued the type of training that I did in becoming a success coach. And I would love to actually give you the keys to overcoming your negative self-talk. So part of what I'll do at the very end of this training is show you a link where you can sign up for a free 5-day challenge where I walk you through the 5 steps or the 4 steps plus a bonus to really getting rid of that limiting self-talk for good, and to be able to learn how to retrain your subconscious mind so that the thoughts that happen naturally without the effort become much more empowering and about your possibility and about your potential. So that will happen in a minute.
Leela, just to expound upon a little bit, especially, you know, since Fireteam Whiskey is a health and fitness program, and a majority of the people who are doing our program have done other programs before. They've tried other diets, they've tried other fitness plans, they've joined gyms, they've, you know, done a lot of different efforts throughout their lives and have come up again and again and again with, you know, failure, or maybe it worked for a little bit and then, you know, life gets in the way and we kind of let go of all of those new behaviors that we, you know, just implemented and were actually working for us. I mean, that's the old adage, right? I mean, everybody makes a resolution on January 2nd, and then, you know, by February, all the gyms are empty again.
Right.
So it's always just the people who had always done it and, you know, that end up staying in the gym, you know, well into the summer and everybody else is gone. So, and you went over this limiting thoughts on the slide. And you know, we hear this a lot. I've never been able to lose weight before. Why will this work? And I just wanted to get maybe your expert kind of advice on how somebody who is asking themselves this, maybe before they even started Fire Team Whiskey, or maybe, you know, they're thinking about, you know, that this may not be working for them or may not work for them. You know, what are some kind of techniques that they can use to kind of tackle this kind of thinking?
Sure, it's a great question. So to clarify, you're talking about when they are thinking about committing to a program such as yours, or when they're already in it and they're having some challenges?
Yeah, so most people who are seeing this are already in it, have already done maybe 30, 60 days with us, and maybe getting back into it after a break and thinking, okay, well, the other programs may have worked for them pretty well, but maybe they're struggling with this one. Maybe this one's extra challenging for them. Maybe they're just not feeling like they're seeing the movement in the scale really anymore. You know, and this happens a lot, especially if you've done programs for, you know, more than 30 days. You're going to see kind of a drop off in the progress, the noticeable progress, right? So you're not going to see as many pounds lost in that you know, 90-day mark. But you know, so maybe you're struggling. Maybe you're feeling like, well, maybe this isn't working for me anymore. I knew this wasn't going to work, you know, because nothing's ever worked for me before.
Mm-hmm. So to that person, I would say, again, start with self-awareness. Even when it feels like you're admitting something, you know, kind of embarrassing or kind of ugly or disempowering, just be honest with where you are and say, you know, I am having these thoughts around sticking with the program. And the second thing I would say to yourself is, again, you know, is that thought that this is never going to work for me, or it did for a while and now it's not anymore, is that thought serving you? Is it making you feel like you want to pursue the goal that you have in front of you with your fitness? If it's not, make a conscious decision to really divorce that thought. Think of it like an ugly, nasty divorce. And you want to say to that thought, you don't represent me anymore. I may have thought that way in the past, but now this is how I think. And that's kind of the content and the hand-holding that I go in when I offer that 5-day challenge that I take people through, is how to identify when there really is a truth of having some success and then some failure, or you feel like you're getting that standstill moment, and being able to say, okay, I don't want to just deny where things are, but I do want to keep my mental state in a positive place. So saying to yourself, is this thought serving me anymore? And if it's not, let's just put that one away and say, no, okay, I'm not going to own that anymore. That may be how I am feeling at this moment, but today is not my whole story. And tomorrow I'm going to tackle this again, or in 2 hours I'm going to tackle this again. The other thing that I would encourage someone in that position to realize is that oftentimes what you're battling is not the actual program that you're doing. It's not the physical food you eat. It's not the exercises, even though those are huge components. So in that moment where you're second guessing your decision, what you're battling is a battle over your mindset. It's a battle over your success habits and the way that you think. And I would encourage you to take a look at it that way and decide that you're not going to take it lying down, that you're not going to allow this old tape from your past and from the way that you used to think determine where you're going to go in your life moving forward. I think that you're already probably doing that. That's why you're in this program. That's why you are watching these videos, is you're making concrete steps to move yourself forward. And I would say, first of all, give yourself the recognition that you are doing those things. And second of all, continue to do it. Reach out to your mentors and to your trainers to get the feedback that you need to get, and realize that today's story is not the whole story. And there's a way to switch that internal talk long term, because right now it's just playing based on the old experiences, and you're helping to create a new story of success that you can go back to when you're feeling this way.
Yeah, I love that. And, you know, and also you had said earlier, you know, one of the basic questions to ask yourself is this true?
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes, you know, we may be assuming, oh, I'm struggling with this, or it's not working for me. And if we take a step back and divorce ourselves from that emotion, then we can maybe see that, well, it is working for me. I'm still making some progress. I'm feeling better.
Mhm.
I'm, you know, able to maybe do more of those exercises that I wasn't able to do in week one. My, you know, pants are fitting looser.
Mhm.
My energy is great. You know, I may not be seeing a crazy change on the scale, but I still feel like, you know, I feel so much healthier than I did, you know, 30 days ago. And,
Right.
you know, sometimes we just, like you said, sometimes it's the struggle isn't really what we think it is. Maybe you're stressed out at work, and
Mhm.
that's kind of, you know, you feel kind of helpless about that. So that's, you can translate that stress into this area of your life. And, you know, maybe, you know, something else is going on with you. So it's really important to, like Leela said, have a sounding board and have somebody maybe to discuss this with, and your Fire Team Whiskey cadre and your Caliber member team on your Facebook page are great people to kind of bring these topics up with.
Mhm.
So, and we always say it's not always like, you know, gains and wonderful, fantastic successes. You know, we always want you to share, you know, your struggles and the things that, you know, you may be disappointed about as well, because we all experience those things. And but sometimes we're still making progress. It just may look a little different than we had anticipated.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good point. I think really taking advantage of that community that you have built for them, for the participants, is key. And really, you know, choosing vulnerability is kind of what Steph is, or Captain Lincoln is saying here. And that's when you're having that day, when you are just down and out and considering giving up on it all, be vulnerable in your community and ask for help and say, this is what I'm thinking. And let your community and the people who have either gone through this so they know the intensity of it, or who have seen some of your progress in the past, remind you of your successes. That's part of what is part of the, it's very similar to what I had talked about, is the second step around changing that self-talk, is focusing on your strengths. Sometimes your strength is something you're naturally good at, as I mentioned before, and sometimes it's a challenge that you had that you overcame. I mean, you slayed it. It was incredibly hard, and you fought through it, and you managed to not just get through, but to excel. And coming back to those feelings of victory and those feelings of a dedication and perseverance, and realizing that you have that inside of you, you just need to be able to tap into it in that moment, relating it to a different area of your life. That's really key, and it's a beautiful piece of retraining your mind towards having a mindset of, I can do this and I will do this, instead of all the reasons that I can't. I did want to invite you, if you would like to do this 5-day challenge, it's completely free. And it's something that I put out into my world because I think that this is something we ought to be taught in high school and in college, how to really take advantage of the power of our minds and the science behind how our minds work to be able to use it to our advantage. So in this 5-day challenge, you will have access to science-backed tips on how to eliminate the source of your self-criticism. You'll be able to find a process that helps you to see yourself in a whole new light. And it's written in a way so that you can consume the content and actually do the activity in less than 9 minutes a day. So even for crazy busy people who have a lot on their plate, this is completely doable for you. As a bonus, if you choose to take part in the 5-day challenge, I'm going to send you a challenge journal that I've created that allows you to work through the challenge and record your takeaways and your aha moments, so that in a time of weakness, you can go back to that and you can remind yourself of what the truth really is. And in addition, there's a community available for you as well, just like Captain Lincoln talked about, really taking advantage of the support structure that you have and using that to help you to push through when you have these kinds of more challenging days and limiting self-thought days. So if you'd like to do that, I completely would love to have you on board. I invite you to enroll for that challenge at leelaansart.com/start here. And all the instructions are there for you, and everything will be delivered to you if you would like to do that. So thank you for allowing me to share with you today. And if you have questions about this, you're welcome to reach out to me and ask those questions. I'd love to clarify and give you feedback on your particular situation as well, if that would be helpful. And thank you, Stephanie, Captain Lincoln, for having me on and allowing me to share with your participants.
Thanks so much, Leela. And yes, I highly encourage those watching to do the 5-day challenge. There's really awesome, just immediately applicable techniques and tools that you could use today. So it just really makes you kind of focus down on how you can improve your thought process today. This isn't like a, pie in the sky. Well, maybe one day if I work on this long enough, I'll improve it. So they're really practical techniques that you can do today to improve your thought process and increase your positivity and feel like your goals are a lot more accomplishable. So I did the 5-day challenge, so I encourage everybody watching to do it too. So it's free, you have nothing to lose, but you have everything to gain by using and learning some of these techniques that Leela teaches. So thank you so much, Leela. And
yes, my pleasure.
I really appreciate you donating your expertise to our Fireteam Whiskey Caliber members.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.